I've been waiting my whole life for this one. Orthopedic surgeon and husband for The View host, Sonny Hostin, has been named in a federal lawsuit alleging insurance fraud. She got on television. She got in. She run. These women tell me why her husband is named in a lawsuit in insurance fraud. And I'm gonna show you exhibit. Let me say exhibit B. Can you show this to the jury?
Picture this. A TV star who's built her career preaching justice, a doctor hailed as a lifesaver, and a $450 million scandal that could burn their perfect world to the ground. Sonny Hostin, the fearless voice of The View, and her husband, Dr. Emmanuel Hostin, a top orthopedic surgeon, were living the dream, until a federal lawsuit accused him of masterminding one of New York's biggest fraud schemes ever.
You're married. Tom, you're married. If your husband's doing something, if he's allegedly doing something like this, you guys would know if your wives were up to some nefarious stuff. Let's just not forget who she is. She's been, for years, lecturing America about morality, inequality, systemic failures, and look at her track record. How many times has she had to go on in the past 2 months and look at the camera and do a legal apology for all the stuff that she said on the show? And then she also, on Trump's win, calling the loss because of uneducated white women that Trump won.
We have to know that. This is accused.
All accused. Yeah, all accused, but he's in the RICO. This is a big RICO case that her husband's in.
This isn't just about money. It's about betrayed patients, a broken healthcare system, and a couple whose untouchable image is cracking under the weight of a RICO case so wild it makes soap operas look dull. Buckle up, because this story is a roller coaster of greed, irony, and jaw-dropping twists you won't believe. Let's start with the fairy tale.
Orthopedic surgeon and husband of The View co-host Sonny Hostin is accused in December. Lawsuit fraudulently billing insurance. By the way, this is a Daily Caller story I'm reading. The lawsuit alleges Hostin knowingly provided fraudulent medical and other healthcare services in exchange for kickbacks and or compensation, and names him among nearly 200 defendants in one of New York's largest RICO cases. Wow.
Sonny Hostin isn't just a co-host on The View. She's a cultural force, dishing out hot takes on everything from politics to systemic inequality. Her sharp wit and moral compass have made her a fan favorite, whether she's calling out corruption or championing the underdog. Her husband, Dr. Emmanuel Hostin, is no less impressive, a board-certified orthopedic surgeon fixing knees and shoulders for New York's elite and everyday folks alike. Together, they've built a picture-perfect life, a Manhattan penthouse, charity galas, and a reputation as a power couple who've cracked the code to success.
The View co-host Sonny Hostin's husband, Emmanuel Hostin, has been accused of federal insurance fraud. According to a new lawsuit obtained by Page Six, the orthopedic surgeon was one of 200 defendants named in one of the biggest racketeer influenced and corrupt organization cases ever filed in New York. Emmanuel was accused of federal insurance fraud and, quote, getting kickbacks by performing surgery and billing a company that insured taxi companies and Uber and Lyft drivers.
They've even raised 2 kids while juggling high-profile careers, looking like they stepped out of a Hollywood script. But every fairy tale has a dark twist. And for the Hostins, it came in the form of a legal bombshell that nobody saw coming.
You always say it's always the people that always do the pointing, and it always comes back to them, all right? So when you said this is the largest RICO case ever filed in the state of New York, you guys wrap that around your brain. That's bigger than the mafia case. Like the mafia one was number 1. This one takes it over. So he was scamming insurance companies from taxi drivers, Uber drivers, and Lyft drivers. He was performing unnecessary surgeries and then providing fraudulent medical services in exchange for the kickback.
In December 2024, a federal lawsuit hit like a freight train, naming Dr. Hostin among nearly 200 defendants in a $450 million RICO case, one of the largest in New York's history. The plaintiff, American Transit Insurance Company, claims Dr. Hostin and a sprawling network of doctors, clinics, and even law firms ran a massive fraud scheme targeting no-fault insurance payouts. The accusations are brutal, performing unnecessary surgeries, like arthroscopic knee and shoulder procedures, on patients who didn't need them, then billing insurers for millions in inflated or outright fake claims. We're talking over 500,000 fraudulent claims since 2014, with Dr. Hostin allegedly pocketing kickbacks for every unneeded scalpel cut. This isn't just a lawsuit, it's a legal earthquake, and the aftershocks are hitting everyone from patients to the Hostin's polished reputation. But who's really paying the price? Think about a cab driver named Joe, working long shifts to make ends meet. He gets into a minor accident, a fender bender that leaves him with a sore shoulder. Next thing he knows, he's at a clinic being told he needs surgery. The doctor's charming, the office is sleek, and Joe trusts the system. But according to the lawsuit, Joe and thousands like him were pawns in a profit-driven game. New York's no-fault insurance laws, passed in 1974 to ensure quick medical payouts for accident victims, became a loophole for exploitation. Doctors allegedly pushed patients into operating rooms for procedures that were either unnecessary or, in some cases, never even happened, billing insurers for every phantom stitch. The human toll is staggering, people trusting their health to professionals only to be used as cash machines. And while Joe's recovering from a surgery he didn't need, the real drama is unfolding in the Hostin's world. Sonny Hostin's made a career out of holding the powerful accountable. On the View, she slammed healthcare disparities, saying things like, "The system's rigged against the little guy, and we need to fix it." She's grilled politicians, exposed corruption, and built a brand as the voice of justice. So when her own husband got named in this massive fraud case, you'd think she'd have a fiery response ready, right? Nope. Sonny's gone quieter than a library at midnight, dodging questions and keeping her lips sealed. On X, fans are torn. Some defend her, saying she's just protecting her family, while others call her out, asking, "How can you preach ethics when your husband's caught?" In this mess, the irony is impossible to ignore. Sonny's spent years pointing fingers at systemic failures, but now the system's pointing right back at her doorstep. Is she shocked, blindsided, or just playing a strategic game to save her image? One thing's clear. Her silence is only making the whispers louder. Dr. Hostin, meanwhile, isn't backing down. His legal team, led by Daniel Horwitz and celebrity attorney Mark Garagos, known for defending clients like Michael Jackson and Chris Brown, is coming out swinging. They call the lawsuit a baseless shakedown by a nearly bankrupt insurance company desperate to dodge legitimate claims. American Transit, they argue, is the real villain, slashing payouts to doctors and patients to save their crumbling finances. It's a bold defense, and Garagos' track record suggests they're ready for a courtroom brawl. But let's not kid ourselves. Insurance companies aren't saints. They're notorious for denying claims and hiking premiums, leaving patients in the lurch. Still, the scale of this alleged fraud, with millions in kickbacks and hundreds of defendants, makes it hard to see this as just a misunderstanding. And that brings us to the man at the center of it all. How does a respected surgeon end up in a scandal this big? Dr. Emmanuel Hostin's career reads like a success story. He graduated from Johns Hopkins, trained at top hospitals, and built a thriving practice in New York, specializing in sports injuries and joint replacements. Patients praised his skill, and he was a fixture at medical conferences, rubbing elbows with the elite. But somewhere along the way, something shifted. Was it ambition, pressure to keep up with a high-flying lifestyle, or just a broken system that made fraud too tempting? The lawsuit paints him as a key player in a network that turned healthcare into a cash grab. But his defenders say he's a scapegoat for an insurance company's failures. Either way, the contrast is stark. A doctor who spent decades building trust, now accused of betraying it on a massive scale, and the fallout's reaching far beyond the courtroom. This scandal isn't just about the Hostins, it's sparking a firestorm of debate about trust in healthcare and the media figures we idolize. On X, users are comparing it to scams like Anna Delvey's, calling it Grey's Anatomy meets The Sopranos. Others are digging into the no-fault insurance system, questioning why it's so easy to exploit. The case has become a cultural lightning rod, with posts asking, "Can we trust doctors anymore?" And how do media stars like Sonny get away with preaching one thing while living another? It's not just a legal battle. It's a wake-up call about a healthcare system where profit often comes before patience. And for Sunny, it's a reminder that the public's quick to turn on stars when their halo starts to slip. But the real question is, what happens next? The Hostins are staring down a legal and personal gauntlet. If the allegations hold, Dr. Hostin could face crippling fines, a shattered career, or even worse. New rumors on X suggest patients might come forward with testimonies about being pressured into surgeries, which could turn this into a media circus. For Sunny, the stakes are just as high. The View thrives on drama, but if this scandal starts tanking ratings or alienating co-hosts like Whoopi Goldberg, her seat could be on the line. Will she break her silence with a tearful on-air explanation, or keep dodging until the headlines fade? And what about the case itself? With 200 defendants and millions at stake, new evidence, leaked documents, surprise witnesses could drop any day, keeping this story alive for months. One thing's for sure, this isn't ending with a neat bow. Let's tie this up. A TV star who built her brand on justice, a doctor accused of running a $450 million fraud, and a healthcare system so flawed it's practically an invitation to scam. This is more than a scandal. It's a mirror held up to everything we've gotten wrong. Sunny Hostin and her husband thought they were untouchable, but now they're fighting to save their names, their fortune, and maybe even their marriage. So what do you think? Can Sunny keep preaching morality while her husband battles one of New York's biggest RICO cases? Will Dr. Hostin walk free, or is this the start of a downfall that'll outshine any View hot topic? Drop your take in the comments and hit that subscribe button to stay locked in for the next twist, because this drama is only getting started.